For a seed to bloom, it has to be in the dark soil.
Fucking bully. Oh, man. That you've been with us, and see you next Monday. Well, hello, everybody.
For a seed to bloom, it has to be in the dark soil.
Where do I hear that, Sarah? Where is that coming from? From you?
Yep, sorry.
all right.
Are we live?
Cool. Yeah, we're live. It was live. It was here with us. But anyway, So to be honest with you guys, hey, welcome. Thank you for being here for the Night Ignition podcast, episode number 50, topic generosity. What we didn't know before, let's say an hour ago or 2 hours ago, that this is the last episode of Night Ignition podcast for now. So it's after 1 year. We're finishing on a 50 episode, a little over 1 year. We did 50 different topics, all amazing, 9 different co-hosts. I'm just finishing a video on Instagram, gotta put it on. So I will pass on to Sarah to do the intro now, to be with you guys for a minute or two. Hey Ursha, good evening. And what else? And then we will go to the topic. That's it. So to you, Sarah, I just throw you into into the middle of the ocean and now swim, baby girl.
I'm all about jumping into the ocean and swim with sharks, but not today. Anyway, yeah, so Yarne is having some troubles making Instagram stories. So I encouraged him to make a story, and now he's having some troubles uploading it. Maybe Ursha, you can teach him. Okay, so yeah, how is it going?
I need 30 more seconds.
Okay. Maybe now again there will be some sound from me because I want to see the comments, and I will mute the voice in a second. Okay. What? Yeah, Ursha doesn't know about the...
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. This, like I said, it was an idea, and then we just agreed on it.
Yeah, it's not that it's over, but yeah, we'll see.
It's not over with podcasts. It's just over with Night Ignition podcast in English. We want to try it out. A couple of people said, why don't you do podcast in Slovenian? And then I'm like, I'm a busy guy. Can't do everything. I would love to stream every night and do different thing every night, but there are other projects that are important to me. So yeah, that's why. So we will put Night Ignition podcast in English on hold, or call it the last one and call it complete, because we don't know if it will come alive, and we will start doing podcasts in Slovenian, closer to our native language, and to be honest, it's about views and everything. It just, I don't know. We could also say it's generous in a way to the Slovenian language and all Slovenians on this planet.
Are you done with the story?
I think I posted it.
Yes, one. There is one.
Why only one?
I mean, one that I see. Is that it? Oh no, there's two.
Yeah,
Oh,
no. There, it's uploading. Now it's the 3 and then 4.
okay, then I'll wait.
Yeah. So anyway, that's that. Let's go. Topic: generosity. So we do it as it is designed.
Sure.
Generosity is the quality of being kind and generous. And generosity also means the quality or fact of being plentiful or large.
Plentiful.
I don't think that's the one we wanna include into this podcast. We wanna include the quality of being kind and generous. So maybe let's also look generous by default. Generous means showing a readiness to give more of something, especially money, than is strictly necessary or expected. Yeah, so that's that. So generosity basically is connected with that you give money or things like materialistic money way. So in the definitions, right? We call it in the by the definitions. So all right, that's that. That's what it says. Okay. So it's not over with podcasts on Monday. It's just there will be in Slovenian. Yeah. Okay, you guys scared me. I was already like, I will miss my Monday evenings. Oh, how cute. All right. Thanks, Urfa, for saying that. Means a lot. And you see, this is how I perceive generosity. Somebody, say something, share with you, and appreciate what you're doing, and they're generous that they actually invest their time into listening, or in this case, into listening and watching what we are doing here. So yeah, but anyway, Sarah, when you hear generosity, what is your mind says to you?
Actually quite similar than you, because I never really connected it with money. But like you said, being kind. For example, in this past couple of months, a lot of people around me went on their own business journey, and I think it's really generous of people commenting on their stuff. I don't know, liking their Facebook, I don't know, posts or whatever. And I saw that there is a lot of time when I like a post, in my head I say, wow, this is amazing, what an amazing girl or whatever, and I don't say it, I don't express it, I don't comment on the post. And I started doing that because actually I do think it's really generous of me express myself in that way, in a generous way, when I see something that I like and I admire, let's say. So generosity for me is actually expressing my love and time.
Yeah, so it's showing a readiness to give more of something that is strictly necessary or expected.
Yeah.
If we exclude money. So all right, cool. And yeah, everybody who is here with us, share with us what is your definition of generosity. So for me, generosity is, I said it before, it was in the past, I would say. It was, how generous you are, it means how much money you give, like, or how much materialistic, like, the bigger the give, the bigger the sum of the money, the better you are, in a way, like that means something. So people who are generous are usually people who are rich. That was the old mindset of mine. But now, when I much more appreciate the relationships, the people in their pure form, for who they are, not what they are, the generosity is what you just shared. Like when you express yourself, you share yourself. Also, generosity in listening, when you really listen to others, what they're saying, and you're being with that without judging, without opinionating, just all right, that is what is important to you. So I hear that, or whether you're committed to, I hear that, and let's now look at how you can go towards that. So yeah, generosity in a whole new level, I would say, I'm discovering in the past few years. But one thing we also look here is the nature of generosity. So if we would now go into the waters, like where it comes from and why it is existing anyway, what would you say?
My first thought is to, how is it said in English? I have no idea, but to make someone like you. You know, when you need something and you're so kind to them. I think that's really present in the nature.
Yeah, because for me, nature of generosity is, when you have more than you need and you just give it away because you don't need it. That's how I see it in generosity. The pure nature of it is, like it said, it's not expected of you, it's not necessary, but you give it because you have enough, or you have more than what you need, so you just give it away.
Yeah, that also.
And I gotta say it, for all the streamers, like this channel and other Slovenian streamers and around the world, this is one of the things, people really show generosity when they're in your community, they subscribe to you, they like your videos, they on YouTube become your members, which is like there is a fee of €5 per month, or when they donate, which I mean the biggest generosity in this sense is when people donate to channels or to streamers, and it's basically it's non-refundable, and you know there are people who donate crazy money, and in that regard they are very generous, and you do generously accept that. And I think that is one thing that needs to be said, as I see it, in a way that I'm doing. Not that I say, hey, donate the money or I don't like you, right? But if you do donate the money, in this regard, how streamers pay respect is that you are shown on the channel, you're shown in the maybe donation board that it's below and stuff like that. So I think that is what you said, goes into what you said, right? People donate because they appreciate something, and it's also they're liked and praised for that. So you could also say now the generosity goes with, you want to be praised, you just be generous, you just give a lot, and then you will be praised, people will like you, and they will be like in favor of you. So yeah, I don't know, I'm just getting to that. Imagine that somebody would like donate, I don't know, crazy money, €5,000 on this channel, we all would like him right away. We would be like all over the place. Somebody just donated, or you this and that. Boom, TikTok, Instagram. This is that guy. Boom, people would come rushing. Who is that guy? Why? You know what I mean? It just draws. So it's also a really cool thing to get the attention.
Yeah, it is. But in a way, when you said a lot about liking videos, when you actually watch the video and you like it, why don't you actually put a like on it? That's something you can do for a start. But also what it actually got me thinking, when someone donates money, it's not just money to be somewhere, it's something to think about what you actually make possible for someone who you donate for. For example, if someone would be to donate money for this stream or whatever, what would be possible for this channel with that kind of money?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can share what would be possible. We could get better equipment. No need to worry for where the money will come. You could put in more hours into the content, reach more people. You got, hey, I got this and that. This is So it just elevates the game. Basically, it's like everything else in every business. It's just like if somebody would invest in your project that you're doing, or you're being a happy manager of happiness for the companies. If suddenly some big companies says, hey Sarah, we're here, we're prepared to pay you $500,000 to deliver this to our company, and you got 1 year to do it. So what that makes possible is like, all right, with that money, I have so I put all my money, all my time, my energy, my focus goes into that company, and you just do that, and you elevate like that. You would, in the end, how to say, not be satisfied, but to produce the result that is expected of you. And here's a donation, would means like, all right, somebody likes this channel, somebody likes the content, so being generous in that way, it's like supporting you, keep on doing what you're doing, and it's just a boost. It adds on the context, the purpose, the reason why we're doing this. It's just like that, and then it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, the bottom line, the more you give, the more you get.
Definitely, right. If you just look like, if you're generous with loving people, the more people you love, the more love you will get. So when in the end, this is what I see. In the end, generosity, that is by default for me. It's like being generous with your time, like one of the biggest gifts, or the only gift you can ever return, right? Except if you give a cake and then you eat it by yourself, and then, you know what I mean? I give you a cake, and before you present it for everyone, I just already but then did I really give it to you, or I just bring it and eat it? So it's like one of the biggest thing of generosity is you give your time to whatever you give, right? And for a lot of things, we give our time, we could say, free of charge. We're not paid for it. Like, we give our time 8 hours a day or so for sleeping. Which is like, that is generous to your body if you look at it that way, right? And then you go out and spend time with friends, which is like being generous with people you love, or family, or so it's just that. So that is how I see generosity for me. It's just like being there, being present, doing what you said you will do that is important to you. And that is the biggest thing of generosity. And yeah, of course, you can go into the spectrum, like we were in donations before, but you can go, like, you have all these platforms, of being generous to people that don't have much. So there is this platform in Slovenia. It's called Make a Wish Come True, and it's like, then people post up like what they want to give to their kids or for themselves. They cannot afford it, so they post it up, they post a price, and then you can buy that for them, and it's sent to them directly, and they don't know from who it is coming, because it's it's just like, or it can be said from who it's coming, I don't know. So you can be generous in that way, especially if you have more than you need and you don't need anything. So so, but let's go on the court, right? What is the biggest, like, when were you really being generous in your life, like that you would say, this is my peak of generosity so far?
I'll have to think about that.
All right, or you can go with the second. I want to look at it from the opposite. It's like, when was somebody, the biggest generosity of somebody towards you?
The first thing that comes to my mind, when was someone the most generous, to me, well, I think it was when my grandparents bought me a car. And even though it was me who actually bought one car and then sold it, and then they bought me another car, but it just got me thinking that it was actually not what they did, but what they made possible for me. And I think that we see the how big the generosity is, considering what we get out of it for us, for ourselves and for our lives. Because what I got out of it was actually being mobile and driving myself to school at an early age. And I think that was something, I mean, the really generous thing I think of right now.
I mean, it's just awesome how you shared and says like the biggest thing of generosity is what you make possible. I never really looked at it that way until
Yeah,
you
you know,
start
because for
saying it
them
here.
it wasn't a big deal, because it wasn't an expensive car. I paid for my insurance and everything. They just made possible that I had a car. And for me, it was everything. I was actually able to move on my own everywhere. So for me, it was like the whole world. And for them, it was just something they made possible by giving not that a lot of money. So yeah, I think that's how we measure generosity.
All right, awesome, awesome. So towards me, the most generous, I mean, of all time are definitely my parents. I mean, definitely. Um, they give me and my brother a lot of things that we didn't need to survive. You know, if we just go by that, we both trained dancing, which it was quite expensive sport regarding every other sport. Maybe only golf is more pricing than that, or horse riding, or you know, really not a lot of them. Uh, because it was like a couple of €1,000 per season, you know, and that is in that time when we still have dollars before euro in Slovenia. So definitely they were being generous, and they're kind of my role models in generosity with love, with time towards the people you love, and how you spend them. We travel all over Europe, you know, whatever, almost anything that I want, they made it possible for me. So I think, yeah, their generosity is beyond measures. And it was for a long time, for me, it was, how I would say, I took it for granted. You know, definitely took it for granted. And as of the last couple of years, uh, since I would say age 25 on, I started really appreciating it, but really appreciating it the last couple of years. And especially now that I'm a dad, you know, it's really easy for me to be a parent because I have a good role model. So in that sense, it's easy. Like, you know, how to stand for your child and really make anything possible for them, and you know, raise them with the generous way, and still build in uh, the basic human moral things. You know, respect, love, stuff like that. So that is what I would say. But if I would have to pick outside of that, damn, I don't want to left somebody out, you know, because I'm not that young anymore, and a lot of things happened in my life. I mean, terms in money, I would say my uncle. He just gave me and my brother a couple of €1,000 just because he could. And yeah, what it made possible actually it is later on. So he gave me like that was like 13 years ago. So then I invested in something that it was in for 10 years and got a little bit more out. Like a bad investment, but all right, it is what it is. But in the end, I could really afford all this education with Landmark and traveling to London, I don't know, 6, 7 times, or even more. Paid everything, all the tuitions and stuff like that, which was like, I wouldn't be able to do it otherwise. So yeah, what you just said, I'm newly present to it. Like, all right, people are generous to us, and you can say, okay. But when you think about, all right, what did that make possible? You're like, whoa, that made possible a lot of things, right? And maybe for some people it takes possible the things that we're taking it for granted, a lot of us, and for them that is like, whoa, it's like for you, I was young and I could be mobile, like, whoa, like most of the kids don't have that, right? And maybe at that time you took it like, all right, but nothing special, oh, I have a car, but when you really look at it, it's like, when you look at it now, it's like, whoa, how many other, teenagers had a car? Or for my example, like, how many other kids in our hometown had parents that would invest that much money into them? It's what they love to do, right? Not a lot, especially because you kind of knew who is training dancing at that level. I knew a couple of golfists, like maybe there is one or two, some tennis players, which is also a bit more expensive sport, and stuff like that. But yeah, not a lot. All right, when were you the most generous, you would say? And we can look at it that way, that you were generous and you really made like the possibility that your generosity brought into the court of life was the biggest.
Yeah, when I was thinking about that, I actually remembered one thing. When I was, not that younger, but my sister definitely was too young. I actually took 2 weeks out of school to go with her to New York because, well, I really wanted it, so I didn't thought of it as something generous, but I think that actually she saw it as a really generous thing because it wouldn't be possible without me. And that actually happened with all of our travels together because she was too young to go on her own, and we always went together. So that was really, I think it was really amazing for her to be able to travel so far at that young age. Yeah.
All right. Awesome example. I mean, it's really clear. So you went to New York and you see that as being generous. That's
Well, yeah.
you know what I mean? It has a bit of a pinch of salt in there, but I get it, right?
I mean, if I stand in my sister's shoes, because at first the she would actually went with someone else from Italy, but then we kind of arranged the time also going so she could be felt more safe and be more safe. So in a way, yes, but also I went to New York, so it's really amazing for me too. But if I stand in her shoes, I think it was really amazing to have her sister with her and not someone she barely knew.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I had to tease you on that one.
Yeah.
It was just
course.
like you brought it,
Yeah.
you made it. So for me, it's like, damn. I really, I set up the question and then I don't have an answer. It's just like,
Of course.
I really don't know, to be honest, what would be the peak, because it's so many of that things that I think I did and made possible, to pick
Maybe
one out.
is the thing that we actually don't know what we made possible. Maybe you did something, maybe we all did something that was really small in our view, but it made possible quite a lot.
So I will take one out, all right, because I know what is possible for that guy now. So you all know I do these workshops. If you don't know, ask. I do one-on-one coaching. So at one school, I did one-on-one individual session with this guy who wanted to do a suicide.
Wow.
And then we looked with him, you know. I was just being generous in his listening, and everything I knew, learned in my life until that point, I used it in a 45-minute conversation. And then in that 45 minutes, we get to the source of everything that is actually causing his anger, his bad mindset, and I mean, not bad, but unworkable mindset at that point. There was some resentment towards his brother. And when he saw that, what is now possible for that guy is that he doesn't think about it anymore, that he's actually lecturing about his life. He was doing workshops with me at the same week as I was doing. If you don't know, as he did some other workshops for the kids at that same school, because he is now already in faculty, in university. So I would say if we go to the smallest amount put in and the biggest payout. In terms of money-wise generosity, I really don't know. I would say I don't know what I made possible when I donated, when I give somebody €1 or €5, and you know, he could afford the meal, and during that meal he got an idea, and right now, you know, that guy or that person is you don't know where. So I think that is a good point you just said. So, but I think that is also kind of the thrill of generosity in that respect, in that manner. You just donate some money, and you don't know, you know, maybe it was wasted, maybe it was put to good use, maybe something totally unexpected flourished out. And I think that is the best thing that could happen when you're being generous, and then it really flourishes. And sometimes, and that is what I meant in the beginning, right? The definition said specifically money, but I think where the most brilliant things happen is when you are being generous in other ways that we human beings kind of forgot. You know, being generous in listening, in speaking, in sharing your knowledge, in sharing what you're up to. Even being generous for me is like when you share what's going on with you. These days, you know, that is considering being generous, and something unexpected, something most people don't do with strangers or even with the loved ones, because we all got to present cool and perfect and fit and top, and we got it all together all the time. Bullshit. I call it bullshit.
Yeah.
So yeah, chat. Also, you guys share with us, right? Well, we are sharing from 2 points. So when was the people were generous towards us, and how was that for us? And when you were being generous towards others, and what did you actually make possible? Like Sarah perfectly said it here tonight. Like when you're being generous, you make something possible. And in some occasions, you know what, in some you don't. So yeah, share with us when people were being generous to you and they made something possible for you, and when you're being generous for somebody and you made something possible for them that wouldn't be happening otherwise. So more, I mean, now that I look at my life, asking these questions out, it's just like, you know, I have generosity around me all the time. Just like when I had birthday, I got gifts. Later on, I get money, and that made possible for me to go out with the guys and party. Made possible for me to buy something for myself. Made possible for me to save money, to do some investments. I never looked at it that way. That's what I'm present and newly now. I have generosity around me. Like even when me and Ursha were saying we're getting married, and Ursha was worried about how are we gonna get through, that's gonna cost that much, we might not get it back. And I all the time had like, no, you and me, we're having, really cool people it will not be a problem. We have really cool people around it. And then in the end, it was like, it was a plus. The cost and what we and it was just like, and I know many couples don't have that. We just have friends who spend more than they get, and they had to chip in their own money to get married. And I don't know what's right or wrong. It's not debate about that. It's just debate about that I'm discovering that we're having generous people around us, and they're just expressing it the way they are, and we tend not to see it. We always want something else from the people than what they give it to us, or how they give it, not than what they give to us. I think somebody should give you more time, but maybe their expression of generosity is with money. So you gotta accept that. If you don't accept that and you want something from them that they're not willing to give, you will only get upset. So yeah, that is what I'm getting present to. Yo, Millers, good evening. You just came in for the last episode. No, we will still have podcasts on. We can say that now. We will still have podcasts. It's just gonna be in Slovenian, and it's gonna be starting on second Monday in November. So that's the 8th of November. We're gonna take a 1 week pause. So we set it up. We need to translate it into Slovenian and set up the topics and stuff like that. But yeah, that is what I'm getting present to. People are generous around me. I'm surrounded by it. Whenever I need something, there's somebody who will help me or support me. I'm just getting present. I live a fucking amazing life. I had to say that F word right now, because it's just like, it's blowing my mind at the moment. I'm like, what?
Same here.
I was just like, whoa, bro. Yeah, share with us.
I got present how generous actually my boyfriend is for letting me be an entrepreneur when we're building a house. What is really not easy, but he's actually letting me do that. And I also got present how generous it is of people when they actually buy our products and our products. That's what I'm present to.
Yeah, right. I mean, you put something out and you think like, all right, people will buy it, blah blah blah, and you kind of take it for granted. But when you start from scratch, like you and me, right, just like for every time they say yes to a workshop, I'm like, ooh, wow, a new one, all right, let's go, right. And now I will build in the thoughts, all right, they see you because they took you in, they appreciate what you're doing, or they want to try something new, and that's really generous of them. Because like kind of a goes like, why people wouldn't take this workshop? It's it's awesome. It's like it has, I would bet the best satisfaction rate among teenagers in all the workshops in Slovenia, or top 5. But I will almost put a hand in my fire that this is the top. But not building in the generosity and gratitude can go into an ego trip, which usually doesn't end well. So thank you for reminding me of that. And yeah, it is generous, right? Because it's not granted, it's not given, it's not guaranteed. The people will take that if you make that. And it's always a leap of faith, and it's really a leap of faith in humanity, in fellow human beings, that they will recognize whatever you're doing or whatever product you're launching, they will actually buy it and in that way express and they get something, you get something. It's a win-win. So that is the best thing.
Yeah.
And at this point, I would just invite everybody who is here with us listening, just really have faith in people, trust people, trust them, trust in yourself. Start with yourself, of course, and then trust people around you that whatever you're doing, it will be recognized. Especially if it's fueled by passion, which this channel is all about that, right? Everything we do is fueled by the you live your passion, that you find what you're passionate about and then you go after it, because you can't miss it. And that means you will always have the purest intention there are. You will always be at the source of what you love to do. You love to share, and you love to give, and you will be really generous inside of that. And like Sarah said before, the more you give, the more you get. Right? So really, for everybody who is scared, and we are scared at the beginning of our big entrepreneurship road.
I still am.
Yeah, right?
Hey.
You're just like not taking it for granted, being grateful and generous towards yourself and everybody else, and see that in everything you do and in everything that is going on, even though if it's a breakdown. If you approach it from generosity, you're like, all right, that's a learning point. Amazing, right? Because I gotta be honest, this Night Ignition podcast, we did 50 shows. We didn't reach the viewership we want to. We didn't reach not nearly close enough what we thought we're gonna be end up in a year. So I can declare it as a pure breakdown. You could say in some retrospective, a pure waste of time. No, you gotta be honest. But on the other hand, look, we had 9 hosts here. 9 people who shared their experience on different life topics. Something was missing. Maybe it's consistency. Maybe we are not well known enough. Maybe the problem was, the one of the things that we started in English, maybe should we start in Slovenian and expand from there, because we're, more Slovenians knows us. Whatever, we don't know at the moment. But yeah, but still, it's a learning point. Look, we got this many experience. This will stay on YouTube forever. Until, somebody will put YouTube down, or they will just put this channel down for some reason, whatever. But not happening, probably not happening soon. So you never know. Maybe this will explode in 5-10 years, and people will go back. Oh, this was amazing. Why don't you guys do that anymore? And we'll be then like sitting, hey, Sarah, should we do Night Ignition podcast again? There is a demand. Yeah, let's rock and roll. And then there will be a 51st episode. At the moment, it won't happen soon. But yeah, and that is generous. And for every viewer, whoever viewed the Night Ignition podcast, it was generous of them. Their time, they could do anything else. But they were watching this, and listening to this and sharing with us and talking with us. And it's coming from that perspective is like a whole new thing. It's just like, and I always say, look, whatever project you do, if you make a difference for one human being, it's worth it. If somebody for that did something different that they usually would, and that produced a whole new reality for them, results that caused something that wasn't possible before, bro, it was worth it. Even though if we didn't reach the results we want, and the viewership and the subscriber level and everything else, but that's all right. That's just that. No, doesn't mean anything else than that. We didn't reach the result that we want to reach. And that is also just right now being generous towards that, because we could put up a meaning that is a bad show. It's people don't like it because we are not likable, so we are bad, so we shouldn't be doing that. But all that things could show up. But when you're being generous, you just take it as it is, and do something else, or do new thing, or try new thing or do something you didn't do before, I could write down probably a million things that I didn't do and I could do in this past year to boost up the viewership. Who knows? We didn't do it. This is it.
We'll do it now.
Yeah, we will discover it. We'll do it now. We're studying new things. There's an online hub now on this channel. So yeah. Milo said, great. Now I can finally take you and Robert out for drinks. Been meaning to shake your hand for a while. My treat, if Ursha allows it. Well, Ursha has no say in that. That's for sure. Because I'm a free man.
I don't get it. Why now?
He means now because I will have more time.
Okay.
But well, you know, just let's just do it. You know, that's it. Just set date and time, I would say. Yeah, date and time. Like, that's not time at all. Just place and time. That's what I meant. See, maybe that is why we will switch to Slovenia, so we won't be lost we won't be lost in translation. It will be easier to listen to. But yeah, deal, Milos. We'll make an appointment. I mean, we will set a place and time and meet for a drink. But there is a thing I will share with you personally. You know. PCT, you know what I mean? I gotta be honest, right? I cannot drink at this moment outside or eat outside unless I test myself. So that's it. Here it is, out loud, the situation on my side. So yes, Sarah, what are you left with? Maybe look, it's inside of generosity. We still have a couple of minutes to share how this experience, even though you joined for the last couple of shows, how it was for you.
Inside of generosity, first thing is that, of course, but I had the privilege of spending time with other co-hosts, for example, Ula and Jaka. And Ula is an amazing woman who really who gave me some of the insights of my life. That is considering Night Ignition podcast. And I must really say something about yesterday's podcast. I mean, not podcast, TV show talk show.
Yeah.
Because when you say that there can be only one person, even if there's just one person that you change their life. When yesterday's guest shared about her childhood, I felt such an gratitude for my childhood, because even though it was not perfect and my father was similar than her, but my childhood was completely different, and I really got present to how grateful I actually can be for my life. So it's that these podcasts and talk shows change lives. I can say that for sure.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. And maybe I jinxed all that. When we start with this more than a year ago, it's a year and a couple of months, I said, you know, I know we're getting out the content, and I don't think people are ready for this content on a big scale at this time and place. So maybe I jinxed it. I said in a couple of years they will appreciate this content much more. But yeah. You know, whichever you say usually happens. So maybe I jinxed it. So in that regard, but thank you for saying this, Sarah. Really,
the time is now.
Yeah, the time is now. So I really do appreciate it, and thank you for these words. Yeah, it means really a lot, really a lot to me. You know, you saying that, or whoever would say that, it means a lot. That, all right, what I'm up to in life, it is fulfilling through this actions and doings as well. Because sometimes I really doubt that should I even be doing this anymore? So what the hell am I doing, you know? Why don't I just focus on workshops and family life? And why do I spend evenings here? You know, sometimes it's just like that. And I think it's just, you know, whenever you start something, those are the thoughts that you should keep, that they will come at one point in time. And yeah. And then you just, you know, you have Sarah and she says something like that. And then you have Ursha and she says something like similar like this. And other guys who were here and another co-host. And then you're like, all right, let's keep on doing it. Why the hell not? So yeah. All right, I think that's it on generosity, right? It really comes in hand also with being grateful. I would say that goes in hand. So you're grateful for what you have and you give forward, or you know, somebody gave it to you and you know you get their generosity towards you and you make out the best thing you can, and really be present to what that make possible. And I think in that perspective, I want to say that as well. That was exposed in yesterday talk show, right? For us, it's hard to give a price on what we are doing for human beings, right? Because we were taught in a whole another way. You go to a job, you get paid. So nobody in school, you're never taught, look, if you have a product of this, you know, you should put your word around here and it will go out on the market, easily accepted. If you want to be the higher class, the really unique stuff, you start pricing here. Nobody taught you that. Kind of you got to discover it on your own, right? And that is also a generosity that is not taught, and it's towards yourself. And I lost the whole idea now. So that's it. I will share it some other time. Really. But yeah, it was in that perspective, like really being generous towards yourself, your time, energy. It's also having a price. And I would say inside of generosity, what I said yesterday in a talk show was, how much is your hour of your life worth? And then look how much you earn. And then you will get the reality and what you want. And then, you know, close that gap. Close that gap. Be generous towards yourself, towards others. Grateful for what you have. And then keep going. I mean, in the end, it's nowhere to get. You know, this is it. Like Sarah said before, time is now. This is it. This is our life. Right here, right now. Everything we did in our life so far brought us to be here together in whatever way we are together right now. Everything you did, if you're a millionaire or a broke person, you're both here right now. So, you know, it is what it is. So life is now. And keeping that in mind, I think that's the most generous thought there is. And let's discover it, however that landed. I have nothing else to say. Night Ignition podcast on topic generosity. Done. Night Ignition podcast until further notice or forever. Done. Thank you all for being with us. And everybody who speaks Slovenian, see you on 8th of November with a new podcast. Name is not yet decided. Topic is not yet decided. So we will keep you guys in the loop. And when it will be ready, we will share about it and see you guys then. Until then, hug somebody, tell them you love them. If you have nobody else, do it with yourself. Sometimes that is the person that needs it the most. Bye-bye.
Trying hard to keep the world away. We gotta keep the fire inside us burning safe. I can see in your eyes, losing you. This this I can't deny. I don't need you tonight, 'cause I've used up all my time. You've gone away, why don't you stay with me? There's a will, there is a way. 'Cause it's the little things that keep me going on. I need you smiling more. It's the silly stuff that we just can't ignore. 'Cause it's the little things that keep me going on. I need you smiling more. It's the silly stuff that we just can't ignore. It has been a really, really long day, and I'm trying hard to keep the world away. Songs are brewing, time is moving, am I getting insane? Memories are sipping slowly, I remember the day you have gone with the smoke, never came back. So I light my cigarette and watch it burn through the